Hi, welcome to Travel Tuesday with Teresa. I'm Teresa Belcher, your host, and also the founder of Honeymoon Islands. And today we're going to take you on a journey to discover Puerto Rico. And my co-host today is Maggie from Bennett Mercado. Welcome, Maggie.
Thank you for having me. As
Well,
Teresa mentioned, we work with Discover Puerto Rico, which is a company that promotes the destination of Puerto Rico. So all of the hotels and all the partners that we have on the ground want to share the news and all that's why you should come to Puerto Rico. So I'm going to share the island with you. And I think many of you have probably been there, but it's probably a good reminder of what all there is to do and see on the island. So what's new in Puerto Rico? It got a lot of fanfare and attention after the hurricane, but has been rebuilt and is back better than ever. So we always like to share what's new with Puerto Rico. So it is just an enchanting island that not only offers, sun and beach and relaxation, but also a lot of adventure. So I say that because it is a very diverse island. So there's a lot of surfing down here. There's a lot of old world and food and beverage options in Old San Juan, but in the northern areas, it's a mountains, so there's rainforest right here in the middle. So it's a very diverse island. So there's a lot to do. So I always like to remind you, what's skips a little too far. Why go to Puerto Rico? If you've never been before, biggest thing is you don't need a passport. It's a US territory. So all US citizens don't need a passport, which is fantastic, especially when you have small children, maybe that don't have a passport yet. Or friendly reminder, if your passport is set to expire 6 months before travel, you need a new one before you can go anywhere international. So I always like to remind people, think of Puerto Rico as a great destination to go to and experience something that's a little bit, if you feel like you've gone an international trip, but yet you don't need your passport. So you can wait for your passport to be renewed. There's no customs, no immigrations. There's a ton of flights out of the US, major cities. And both Spanish and English are spoken fluently across the island. So there's no need to have any language barrier. US dollars used. There's year round. It's great weather. Plus, you don't need an international mobile plan. So there's a lot of ease for going back and forth to Puerto Rico. Somebody actually said, I even forgot my prescription. It was easy. I just went to the CVS on the island and got my prescription filled. So just you have a lot of diverse people and gastronomy and music and culture, but it's very easy to get to from home. So like I said, there's a lot of direct flights, nonstop flights from the US, more so from the East Coast and Midwest, but great airlift to and from mainland US and Canada. A lot of great hotels, 4 and 5-star hotels. There's also some interesting things that have become very popular on the island, glamping. I know that these are some like really unique, full, you can get the experience of roughing it, but with a little bit of luxury, which is a great idea. Recently, this has been a big, huge trend in Puerto Rico, kind of viva la van. So you can enjoy the freedom, do some, exploring on your own on the island, but also stay in your van. So you can see kind of where the hotels kind of cluster. So that would be where you discuss with Teresa kind of where you wanted to stay, what kind of activities you wanted to do, and where would be the best places to stay on the island. So East Coast is known for a lot of the cruise activities, ferry terminals, also close to a lot of the airports. And I keep talking about, the warm weather. So of course, great outdoor activities to do in Puerto Rico, hiking, water sports, horseback riding. But of course, there's a hanging bridges. They're known, the Beast zip line is one of the largest and longest in the world. It goes up to 60 miles per hour. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that, but great for, I just actually had some younger in their 20s return and it was amazing. The Toro bikes, just very interesting, on a zip line cable. So a lot of creative adventures to do. Of course, all the water sports, deep sea fishing. This is something I wanted to definitely do when I visit next is they actually have some of the three bioluminescent bays near in the island. So what that is they have the when you go out at night, you have these see-through kayaks and canoes, and you can see the water underneath it glows. So really interesting. I think it's one of the largest area of bioluminescence in the world. And of course, golf. There's the Dorado Beach. There's St. Regis, all known for some great golf. If you have people in your family that want to do golf, everybody else wants to do adventure activities or veg on the beach. Great for families, young families, families of older, teenagers. Great. There's a lot of activities to do as a whole family. And then, of course, honeymooners. Maybe some of you have been on your honeymoon to Puerto Rico, but then, it's time to go revisit and enjoy and kind of reconnect. A lot of great options for romance on the island. And then, of course, there's a large LGBTQ community, so a lot of great festivals and nightlife. And culture, I mentioned that. There's kind of a saying on Puerto Rico, they have actually they celebrate something almost 11 months out of the year, whether it's Thanksgiving, from Thanksgiving on. There's so many festivals and they're always celebrating. There's always a party to be had. So a lot of music festivals and dance are a big tradition in Puerto Rico. And of course, the art. There's a large art scene, both in the main museums and street art. So all these can be walkable or, of course, get guided, and Teresa can help with pointing in the right direction. Spa and wellness, another great option for when you go to the beach, you want to relax. There are a lot of great options there on the Puerto Rico with the St. Regis, the Dorado Beach by Ritz-Carlton, and the Condado Vanderbilt Hotel. There's also options to connect with nature. There's also wellness retreats. And then this is what I think about Puerto Rico, is the culinary mixology. There's a big trend to farm to table there in Puerto Rico. So there's a lot of options. There's also traveling and doing a culinary journey with a farm to table. Those are great tours to do. I mentioned the gastronomy tours, flavors of San Juan. Then you can do different, very hands-on neighborhood or really authentic cooking classes and dinners and events. And of course, Teresa can facilitate all of that. And something that interested me, some road trips that are available on the island. The Pork Highway. I'm born and raised from Atlanta, so I'm into my barbecue. So this sounded really interesting. All the slow roasted porks, and from what I understand, is each stop has a different, obviously it's done in a different way. So I thought that was really a fun idea. Then this little kiosk here with a whole bunch of restaurants, different family recipes, and different spices and specialities by the Puerto Rican cuisine. It's a great idea. And the Piñones, which is this kind of a small, like a coastal town, but this is some great fritters and different options. Just something different to do. And then, of course, Puerto Rico is known for their rums. Obviously, this is where the Piña Colada was invented, although the story of who actually invented it is a little bit there's warring stories on that, but you can visit one of the many distilleries on the island and do a tasting. And they actually have the microbreweries have really come on strong on the island. So a lot of different options for microbreweries. If you have anybody in your family that's really into local craft beers and tasting all that, so that's a lot of fun. And then the coffee plantations. These are great. I've done several of the coffee tours. They're really interesting. Obviously, different parts of the island have different flavors based on if they're, more in the rainforest or near the coast. So if you're really into coffee, this is a really fun activity to do. And then, of course, entertainment, nightlife. I did mention that they like to celebrate a lot. So there's different districts This Placenta de Chinture was founded more than over 100 years ago. It's kind of a farmer's market by day and then a big outdoor nightclub in the evenings. A great option to experience San Juan after dark. And then this was recently, I think it opened a little before the pandemic, but a great multi-use, multi-restaurant area, great for families and kids and families of all ages. Great, a lot of activities and weekly, nightly activities that are hosted there. And of course, casinos. You have several casinos on the island. I think I've known several guests that go pre and post of a cruise just to spend a couple days in San Juan or in Puerto Rico as a whole. I'd like to encourage you to maybe add a couple more days to that stay in Puerto Rico and really relax. And then I'm going to quickly go through the different regions just because they are very different. So the old San Juan, obviously the capital, one of the I think one of the largest or the oldest European settled cities in the world, but really known for kind of old and new. Great walking tours, gastronomy, art, but it's even if just to do like a half day tour just to kind of get a sense of place on the island. The eastern region, really known, as I mentioned, the bio bays for the luminescence, and then beaches, and then El Yunque rainforest is one of the largest and it's well known throughout the world, but a lot of great adventure activities. That's also where the zip lining and a lot of the adventure activities are located. And then, of course, where the ferry terminals and the cruise ships are, again, known for their snorkeling and water activities. And then some of these coastal towns. There's a lot of great surfing that's off the area in the western regions. Just very unique areas. And it, depending on what you want to do, we can discuss with Teresa where you best where the best places to stay. And actually, you could do a dual stay on different parts of the island. So you feel like you've really kind of explored the island itself. So this is a cave park that actually has opened in the last couple of years, and just a great different activity to do. It's 220 caves and caverns, and you can explore them all and just go on a great tour during the day. And then an outdoor climbing gym, which is really a fun idea to do. Just view the mountains. Obviously, if you're a bigger climber, this is a great activity. You can do guided, and it's good for kids from starting at 3 years old, which seems really young, but obviously a great activity for a family that really wants to have an adventure. So some of the top things that we think that is a great experiences that would be great for visiting Puerto Rico. I mentioned the El Yunque National Forest, the food tour. I'm definitely doing the pork tour the next time I go, along with doing the kayaking through the bioluminescent bays. I think that's a really a once in a lifetime activity. Of course, cave dive, going caving, body rafting, doing the exploring the city of Ponce, and taking a walking tour of Old San Juan, like I mentioned, coffee tasting, and some of the agritourism is really interesting. And then, of course, doing the ocean or the water activities, sailing on a catamaran. There's just so much to do. You could be as active or as inactive as you'd like, but there's a lot of options in Puerto Rico.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Matt. That was great.
You're welcome.
I have a lot of clients who go to Puerto Rico. I think Puerto Rico saw a resurgence during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
Because people really didn't want to go to other countries. They wanted to stay in the United States, but yet get that tropical feel. So I think
right.
Puerto Rico really got a resurgence then. And I actually have a lot of girls' trips booked there because the nonstop flights from the East Coast and moms who go away for the weekend they want a quick easy in and easy out because
Exactly.
a short it's a short weekend. And
Hmm.
if anything happened to the kids or the husband and they need to come back,
Right.
hey, it's like, I'm on a plane. I'll be there in like a couple hours.
Right, right. Well, and that's why I like to remind people that if you don't, passports are about to expire, but we still want to get away. So this way you have kind of an international or a very unique, experience, whether it's, what activities you're going to do or the gastronomy or the festivals, but to enjoy that, but without having to worry about the passport situation. So you do feel like you left the country, but it's so convenient. Like you said, you could do a long weekend. You can do 4 days, or you can bring your kids along because they'll easily, I just there's so much. I think we are trying to remind everybody there's so much to do on the island.
Oh, it's so
You can be
diverse.
as active or as relaxed as you want to be. If you just want a beach vacation, but the weather's always good there. So it's a great, great backyard option, but with a lot of um, authenticity and unique experiences.
Pick your choice: spa, golf, beach,
I know.
shopping, food tour. I mean, just hiking and
Right.
those bikes on the, oh no,
The
okay.
zip line,
That would be a hard no for me.
I know, but I mean, we've had a lot of families that have small children, but also in the like larger family have teenagers, college students, grandparents. That's why everything's fairly close on the island. So everybody can do everything they want to do and still spend the time together. So it's a really, because sometimes when you pick these faraway destinations, getting to and from activities, it could be kind of be consumed with the transfers to and from some of these unique. Whereas, you can spend a whole week in Puerto Rico and still not do everything that there is to offer.
And I think it would be such a shame for all you cruisers out there not doing a pre or a post or both.
That's
Because
why I brought it up.
you're spending all that time and all the money to see the Caribbean island, but you're not seeing our American Caribbean.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, and it
now
has a lot to offer right there, and it's easy.
it's easy. And you always want to do a pre before the cruise, because if there's a
Hmm.
flight delay or a cancellation, you want to have that buffer. And
Right.
then really kind of pamper yourself after the cruise. After you go, 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 a post stay in Puerto Rico would be a great unwind and
Right.
detach and doing the spa and all that stuff. So if anybody is watching and you're interested in planning a trip to Puerto Rico, please reach out to me. My contact information is below this podcast or at the end. You can get my email at honeymoonislands.com. That's my website. So until then, if you can dream it, we will create it. Bye.